Hello and welcome back to the Best Bar None channel. My name is Joe Carson Smith and today we are going to be cooking the best chocolate chip cookies ever. The recipe is extremely simple. It requires no chilling time. There are no funny ingredients and it ends up with a cookie that is doughy yet still fully cooked, and they are absolutely my all-time favorite chocolate chip cookie. Now, if you've ever made chocolate chip cookies before, or any cookie for that matter, you're well aware that you want to mix together all of your dry ingredients first before you put them in later. Now, I've included all of the ingredients that you will use in this chocolate chip cookie recipe in the description below. So take a look at that and follow along with us here. So we're gonna start with 3 cups of flour, and we're going to be adding to that a teaspoon of baking soda. Now we're also gonna add a teaspoon of salt. I really like using the Himalayan pink salt. I love the flavor of Himalayan pink salt. Put that in too. And of course, you also want to get a half a teaspoon of baking powder. So also get your baking powder mixed into your dry ingredients. Set that aside, and you want to get everything then into your bowl that you're going to cream together. So we're going to start with all of our wet ingredients in the recipe. So you'll want to put in your butter. Again, we so love KerryGold butter, Irish butter. Beautiful, beautiful yellow color. Superb flavor. Makes these cookies just taste really darn good. Open that guy up. Get yourself a spatula and put your butter right in. And then we need to put our sugar in because we're gonna cream the butter and sugar together. And yes, you can lick your fingers along the way because you're gonna get something on them. So we need 1 cup of white sugar and 1 cup of light brown sugar. Also, make sure your light brown sugar is fresh. If it's been sitting in your pantry for a few years, it'll get all clumpy and it'll affect the texture of the cookie. So get some fresh light brown sugar, again 1 cup. And we're gonna cream the butter and the sugar together. It takes really and truly about 5 minutes. Do it properly. You can tell when it's creamed because just like it sounds, it's got a very creamy texture. It's no longer granulated, and you can actually hear it when it's mixing. So let's go ahead and get this started. Lock it, start it on low. Let it get going. And we could scrape the sides of the bowl, but you really don't need to. Again, simple recipe, it's put everything in, put it out on a cookie sheet, no chilling required. We'll turn this up a little bit. And folks, we'll see you in about 5 minutes when the butter and sugars have creamed together. Folks, you can hear that I've increased the speed of the mixer. So once the butter and the sugar have gotten their initial mixing, go ahead and increase the speed. So right now I have this KitchenAid on a 4. And then keep going higher. So now we're up to a 5, a 6, and up to a 7. And we're gonna leave that going now. So again, we are creaming the butter and sugar. One of the most important steps. See you in a second. All right, so our butter and sugar is all creamed together. We're gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla now to our dough. And 2 eggs. When you get your eggs, just purchase some large eggs. Most recipes, large eggs are great. No need for extra large, put 2 eggs in. And we wanna also now combine that until it's fluffy. And when I say fluffy, we've already creamed the butter with the sugars, but once we get the egg going here, you'll see the texture of your batter, your dough change to where it gets fluffy, and it takes another 2 or 3 minutes. So get those going. scrape down the sides of your bowl. Make sure it gets mixed well. And I'll see you in about 3 minutes. All right, folks, it's been about 3 minutes. Our dough is looking wonderful. Let me lift this up so you can see how it's doing. So our dough is now fluffy and ready for all of the rest of the dry ingredients. So again, we prepped those earlier to mix them together. So just start shaking some of it in. You don't want to incorporate it all at once, so put about 1/4 of it in there and let that mix in. Doesn't take long, probably 10 seconds here. Go ahead and put some more in. Get that down. Incorporate that. You basically just don't want flour flying all over your kitchen. Also, oh my goodness, if I didn't say earlier, please use a mixer when you're making these chocolate chip cookies. Do not use a hand mixer. Don't do them by hand. You really need an actual mixer. You will not be able to cream the butter and sugars properly, or then after you add the eggs and vanilla, get it whipped to the proper level. Okay, put a little more in of your dry. And I'm just gonna shake the rest in little by little here and make a mess, it looks like, at the same time, but that's okay. All right. Let me see if I can get this little bit of flour I spilled. There we go. Get that in. Okay. Real quick, let's scrape down the side of the bowl. Make sure everything's mixed well, because all we have left is to put in the chocolate chips. And I also know there are pecan lovers out there, so if you'd like to at the end, you can also put a couple cups of pecans in the recipe. Today we're just gonna put some chocolate chips. All right, so cut open your chocolate chips. Today we're using Nestle Artisan 48% cacao. We just love their rich chocolatey flavor. You can put them just right into your mixer too. Lock it, because the chips will make it bounce up and down if you don't after you turn it on. And you of course can see it's still bouncing a little bit, but it's not a good situation if you don't lock it down. All right, let's go a little faster, get those chocolate chips incorporated. Oh my gosh, this looks, oh, and it smells so good. Oh my gosh. All right, unlock, lift up your mixer, and let's get all the dough out of the hook here. We wanna bake all as much as you possibly can. If you've got the kiddos around or the friends, give them this beater to lick on, of course. All right, let me see how we're doing here. Oh yeah, it's creamed really nicely. The batter is tasting fantastic. So set aside everything else and bring over your cookie sheets. So we've got 2 non-stick cookie sheets. If you're not using non-stick cookie sheets, go ahead and put some baker's paper down or some Silpat sheets onto here. Okay, so we got our 2 cookie sheets ready to go here. We're gonna put 12 cookies on each one. Let me get my spatula out of the way, get all that yummy goodness off of it. And of course, take off our beater. Put that aside. So folks, we're gonna use a number 40 scoop. Number 40 scoop, if you're not familiar, it holds a little less than 2 tablespoons. So it holds 1 3/4 tablespoons. So now we're gonna scoop out the cookie dough. onto the cookie sheets. So try to make them as even as possible. And we're going to put 12 balls of dough on each cookie sheet. And then we're going to put them in the oven at 375 degrees for 10 minutes. And it's time to pop them in the oven. We'll see you guys in 10 minutes after they have baked, and we're gonna do a taste test, my favorite part. So we have our oven on convection bake today. If you do have a convection oven, do use convection bake. It's on 375 degrees. All right, set your timer for 10 minutes. And get ready for the best chocolate chip cookies. All right, so the timer just went off. Time to take the cookies out. Folks, when you pull them out of the oven, they are still going to look doughy. I beg you, do not overbake them. That is the secret of these cookies. So 10 minutes. They're gonna still look doughy. Let's grab out the other one here. Oh my gosh, they smell so good. All right, we're gonna let them sit for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll plate them up. So they've cooled for 2 to 3 minutes. Let's get them plated. Oh, wonderful. Non-stick pans, of course, they will come right off. So I'm using just a silicone cookie spatula. Does a great job of not scratching your cookie sheets. Now, just in case you're wondering, this cookie recipe will make you approximately 40 cookies if you use that number 40 scoop, which again is a little less than 2 tablespoons. Very nice. Very, very nice. Look at all these awesome cookies. I'm gonna go find someone to help me taste test them. I'll be right back. So I found someone to help me taste test the wonderful cookies.
And they smell wonderful too.
Do they smell?
Oh my gosh, they smell so good.
Let's dig in.
Cookie time.
You first.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Whoa.
They just melt in your mouth. They're so good.
What do you think of my cookies?
Those are so delicious.
They are really good. Tom, do you know what C stands for?
C stands for cookie. And that's good enough for me.
Folks, thanks for joining us today on The Best Bar None. If you like the video, please go ahead and subscribe. Mash that like button. Help us out. Oh my gosh, you need some milk with these cookies.
In our Bar None cups, our Bar None Wumblers.
Oh yeah. Love the Wumblers so much. They're good for milk too. Oh my gosh. Yum. How many are we gonna eat? Like all of them? Awesome.
Eventually.
Take care, guys. We'll see you next time on The Best Bar None.
Bye.
Bye.